It's time for Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Yay! Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Shampoo. Thank you for watching the pilot episode last week. Today I'll be reviewing The Kids in the Hall TV show, Fried Green Tomatoes, the new Spider-Man movie, Lalah Hathaway's self-portrait, The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and much more. Let's start things off with my TV review of The Kids in the Hall. If you didn't know, and I'd be kind of surprised, The Kids in the Hall is one of my favorite shows of all time and my favorite sketch comedy show in general. The Kids in the Hall is a Canadian sketch comedy show that aired on the CBC in Canada and HBO in America from seasons 1 to 3 and CBS from 4 to 5. With the original run airing from October 16th, 1988 to April 15th, 1995. A revival 6th season premiering on Amazon Prime Video on May 13th, 2022. The show features the Kids in the Hall, Dave Foley, Bruce McCullough, Kevin McDonald, Mark McKinney, and Scott Thompson, who wrote almost every sketch in every episode and play almost every character, both men and women, especially women. Scott Thompson was actually one of the first openly gay sketch performers on TV, and the kids touched on gay characters and topics fairly often on the series, which may be one of the reasons why they never entirely broke into the mainstream. The Kids in the Hall are mostly known for the cross-dressing thing in their comedy, but they were incredibly groundbreaking when it came to both dark humor and gay topics in televised sketch comedy, are known as incredibly influential to the medium in general. Some of the more popular characters in the series include openly gay bar owner Buddy Cole, incredibly horny and scary Chicken Lady, the incompetently evil Simon and Hecubus, and the misogynistic pig Cabbage Head. The kids also have a movie, Brain Candy, and mini-series Death Comes to Town under their belt, but I'll review both of those at a later date. This one has a ton of backstory. I'd been vaguely aware from them from being a child on TV tropes and seeing their page on the website from time to time, but never really sought them out to watch until my second semester of my freshman year at Ball State. By then, I was terribly depressed and very lonely. My roommate moved out in September because I raised my voice at her for watching Friends too loud at 3 a.m. because the laugh track was driving me crazy. Yes, that actually happened, and she did move out the very next day after I said anything about it. It still pisses me off, but that's not the point. My next door roommates hated me because I sang too loud in their eyes or ears. I barely went out because I was terrified of being out after dark. And I was barely talking to my mom in an attempt to make it on my own without any help. To make a long story short, I failed and felt like shit every day there. One day, in a period in loneliness-induced psychosis, I decided to finally watch The Kids in the Hall to see what it was all about, and it changed my life. One of the very first sketches was about ballet and horribly mean ballet teachers, which appealed to me immensely as a former ballet student and made me laugh, the hardest I'd laughed in months, to be honest. After this, they just kept hitting, sketch after sketch after sketch of things that related to me as a suburb-residing Midwesterner, despite the kids being proud Canadians, portraying women and gay people with incredible depth, and making the whole show seem like a whole universe populated with people, both male and female, that only had 5 different faces. I was honestly amazed that something made in the late 80s, early 90s shared my exact sense of humor. The kids were ahead of their time in many ways. I absolutely fucking loved the show. I fell in love with all the kids, platonically of course, and tried to watch as many other things that they were in as I could. Honestly, I credit them and the Kids in the Hall show with saving my life that semester. Before them, I was awfully depressed. I barely went out except for food. I hadn't been home in the time I watched it for 4 weeks. I was a fucking mess, and they saved me. I laughed so hard at the show the first time I was watching it. My next door neighbors sent me nasty notes under my door telling me to shut up and stop laughing so much. Of course, I didn't, and I'll forever be glad to have the kids in my life. Now, in terms of content, the kids have very few sketches that are complete misses. Some off the top of my head are any of the ones with Mississippi Gary because Mark's in blackface, and that's not in vogue nowadays. Island Boys from Season 1, Episode 19. Contest from Season 4, Episode 17. Probably my all-time least favorite sketch, Pizzeria from Season 3, Episode 13. Besides those few, almost every other sketch made me laugh at least once throughout my life, besides one of the more artsy ones like Love and Sausages or the full-length Buddy Cole episode. I'd only read some of the character summaries on Wikipedia, so I pretty much went in completely blind to the series and was absolutely amazed by how much they're able to get away with back in the day. There's a ton of gay characters, a ton of cross-dressing, and a ton of F-bombs that definitely weren't commonplace then. It was absolutely amazing to see as a very depressed 18-year-old. I'll always admire the way the kids portrayed their female characters as actual people instead of merely misogynistic caricatures. Even some of the more out-there ones like the chicken lady all still have real thoughts and feelings and aren't just, hey, look, that man's in a wig or whatever. Despite all the serious stuff, I just liked that they were funny. Even as I rewatched the series again, now knowing how every joke ends, how every sketch progresses, hell, I even know some sketches word for word now. It was still funny to rewatch and see all the little details I missed on my first 2 watch-throughs when things were still new to me. If I could go back in time and watch anything for the first time again, one of my options would definitely be the sketch Old Friends from Season 2, Episode 2 with Cabbage Head. The first time I watched it, I shocked myself by how loud I was laughing at like 9 at night. I will never forget the first time I watched it, and honestly, I never want to. My all-time favorite episodes and my recommendations for any new viewers are Season 1, Episode 4 with Dave's menstruation monologue, Bruce's iconic song Days I Know, the Swiss-hating Sick of the Swiss, and the Southern Gothic-inspired Country Doctor. Season 2, Episode 5 for being one of the only episodes with all the sketches having a common theme, that being crime, featuring the Sizzler sisters committing a bank robbery and Sizzler in the bank, one of Betty Cole's best monologues while he's in jail in Prisoner, the vaguely PSA-like Drugs Are Bad, and one of the only not-on-topic sketches, the all-time classic Chicken Lady. My ultimate favorite episode, and the episode featuring the kids looking their best as women, is Season 3, Episode 11, featuring one of my all-time favorite sketches, Mr. Right, one of Mark's best women in Extreme, one of Kevin's best women in He's Hip, and a vaguely non-politically correct take on self-sexual harassment in Harassment. One of the best longer sketches is featured in Season 4, Episode 5, with the 9-minute-long B-movie parodying sketch Sex Girl Patrol with Mark, Bruce, and Dave as the titular sex girls, and the sketches Perks and Neckbone were also pretty enjoyable. The best of the original last season, 5, would be Season 5, Episode 8, with the last and great Chicken Lady sketch, Hobby Horse, one of my underrated favorites, Gotcha, and the cocaine-infused Needed Elsewhere. My recommended episode for the revival season on Amazon would be Season 6, Episode 2, mostly for the very funny drop average sketches, the oddly touching imaginary girlfriend, and the incredibly NSFW masturbation policy. Some other sketches I recommend in general are Citizen Kane from Season 1, Episode 3, Women from Season 1, Episode 2, Comfortable from Season 2, Episode 1, Spy Models from Season 3, Episode 20, and Catnap from Season 4, Episode 13. The very last sketch of the original last episode is also one that I highly recommend. The only lacking episode of the series, in my opinion, would be Season 3, Episode 13, which has my least favorite sketch, Pizzeria. Purely, I don't like this sketch because it's too creepy with little to no humor to balance it out. I'm a decent fan of dark humor. Ricardo from Season 4, Episode 19 also made light of pedophilia, but actually had jokes besides one of the characters wanting to fuck a child, while Pizzeria does not, as one of the only Kids in the Hall sketches to feature actual women and girls, instead of one of the kids dressed up as one. It just feels icky to me, despite one of the teenage girls being creeped on, murdering her teacher for creeping on her in the end. Oops, spoiled the twist. I know the intention was presumably to be laughing at the creepy guys. It just didn't come across well to me. The other sketches in the episode just kind of lacked as well overall. I never really enjoyed the white trash couple, besides them showing up in my favorite episode as well. Boxing and the Sudelmans are decent, but nothing really special. And My Horrible Secret was an interesting film experiment, but still not really funny. Overall, I recommend The Kids in the Hall with full force. I fucking love this show. I love almost everything about it. I love all the cast members. Watching this show is one of the only good moments I had in 2024, and I will savor it for the rest of my life. Watch this show now. It's free on YouTube. Watch it now. Thank you. Let's get on to the book review.
Hi, Larry. Yeah, listen, I've got a show I think you're gonna love. Well, thanks for asking. It's sort of a relationship show. It's sort of a family show. It's sort of a melange of various characters assembled together for... No, thank you. Whenever I think of your little new network over there, I think innovation. And I spell that I-N-N-O-V. Yeah, I see your point. To me, public television screams class. Don't say no. Don't say no. Don't. That's my pitch. What do you think? Did you say yes? You'll take it? Who is this? Who am I talking to? Home box office? HBO? Oh, boys. We're on. Excellent news.
Well done, Prick. Shampoo.
The Kids in the Hall. The Kids in the Hall. The Kids in the
Premieres
Hall.
December
The Kids in the
21st on
Hall.
HBO. We're talking seriously dangerous comedy here.
Unlike last week, where I hadn't read the book I was reviewing before, today I'm reviewing one of my favorite books, The Sun is Also a Star. I first read it back in 8th grade and fell in love with the narrator of the story switching every couple of pages, the amount of characters that get focus, the love of grunge, and the overall story of hope and getting through trying times. Daniel is the black sheep in a highly education-motivated Korean-American family. Natasha is a Jamaican immigrant facing deportation because her dad was an asshole and got arrested while drunk, leading her to try and stop her deportation hours before she's supposed to leave. Along the way, they bump into each other, amongst many other people, fall in love, and have to let each other go in only a few hours. My favorite character of the book would be the security guard lady that Natasha meets only once, finds Nirvana, the band, because the Nevermind artwork was Natasha's phone case, decides to kill herself after reading the Wikipedia about Nirvana, decides to kill herself after listening to Nevermind one more time, eventually finds Natasha and thanks her for saving her life. Even though the way I said it was pretty convoluted, it was a nice story in a book, not even about her. Plus, I loved all the grunge references in it, since Natasha is both a Nirvana and a Soundgarden fan. I've always loved stories told from multiple perspectives, and this is one of the absolute best. The romance may be a bit heavy-handed, but Daniel and Natasha have enough chemistry to make it work, and Natasha's deportation is still sad despite them knowing each other for only a short time. Overall, a pretty quick read, very good read if you like character-focused stories, and a great book for any younger grunge fans like myself. 5 stars if we're still doing Goodreads ratings. Now for a new segment here. There'll be quite a few new segments in this video, I'm assuming. This is my magazine review. So I'm going to review Working Mother, issue December 2008, January 2009. Despite me being a 21-year-old with no maternal instincts, I've grown to love reading Working Mother magazine for some reason. I first started reading back issues on Google Books last summer, and instantly nostalgia for the late 2000s started to wash over me. I have read some issues from the 80s and 90s, but the 2000s issues are where it's really at for me. This issue is the first one that I bought flat out instead of relying on Google, and while it's not my favorite in terms of actual content or ads, the second one I bought has some Capri Sun ones. It's still a nice fun read full of good parenting advice, great late 2000s style ads, and a tiny pinch of girl, or in this case, woman power. The highlight of this particular issue, December 08, January 09, will be the article on postpartum depression and how dealing with it doesn't make you a bad mother, just someone who's struggling, and the spread featuring women from the multicultural women's conferences, including mothers who are domestic violence prevention advocates, war survivors, and bank workers. The story about Melissa and Doug and their toy company, which I've heard of before, was also a nice grounder, along with some nice holiday crafts and recipe ideas as well. Not my favorite issue of Working Mother, but definitely a good one, although I don't think it was worth $4, but that's more just a greedy middleman instead of the actual company, so, yes. So today, Buddy will be reviewing a Fancy Feast Medley's shredded white meat chicken fare with spinach. You excited, Kitty? Yes. Here's what his slop looks like today. Okay, Kitty, I got your food. What do you think? I think he likes this one. Hello everybody, it is time for Movie Corner. Today, in addition to doing one of my DVD movies, I went with my mom to see the new Spider-Man movie in theaters. So why not review this too? So, I'm not a Marvel fan. I just go because my mom likes them, but it was okay, which is the sentence I say about almost every Marvel movie I watch. It wasn't terrible, it didn't make me laugh, but it didn't bore me, and it hit its beats well enough. It could have been 40 minutes shorter, but overall it was an okay movie, and was an excuse to get out of the house. It was nice seeing Michael Mando, Better Call Saul in the movie, and Tom Holland and Zendaya's chemistry is always nice to watch. I really just go see Marvel movies to appease my mother. But it didn't waste my time, so it was okay. I liked him in the juicy sweatpants in the one scene. Alrighty, and now I'm going to get onto my DVD movie that I'm going to review this week. And that is Fried Green Tomatoes. And now it's time for me to review Fried Green Tomatoes. This came out in 1991. It had Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy, and Mary Stuart Masterson, and Mary Louise Parker in it. Isn't that interesting? And I thought it was pretty good. I was expecting this movie to be a bit more wholesome than it actually ended up being. This is an example of what I like to call the dead husband movie, which involves someone, usually a spurned wife or someone close to her, murdering her abusive husband. I usually use this term for country music of the same effect, think Goodbye Earl. So it was nice to see a movie with the same sentiment. I thought this was going to be a much more wholesome movie than it was. One of the main characters kills her best friend / girlfriend's abusive ex-husband, or at least it makes you think that she did, somebody else actually did it. There's a bunch of period time racism. It's mostly set in the 1930s in Alabama, and one of the characters gets run over by a fucking train. It was nice to see something new. Some critics say the openly lesbian content of the book is downplayed, but I really don't see it. Iggy and Ruth are both obviously flirting with each other throughout the movie, especially in the B scene and the baseball one. They live together. They raise Ruth's son together, basically do everything together. It might not be official text, but it's still pretty obvious. Or I'm just looking at the movie through a contemporary lens, I don't know. The setting is very nostalgic to me since I spent a lot of summers in the South when I was a little girl. I also like that it shows off all the awful, racist, terrible parts of the South that makes it such a shithole, which is why I stopped going. I really like Evelyn's line about being too old to be young, but too young to be old, or something to that effect, which I definitely understand, despite being 20 years younger than her. I enjoyed her plot about learning to be more independent from her husband and having a backbone, although I did enjoy the flashback portions of the movie more. I especially like the character of Iggy. She was a tomboy spitfire, reminded me of myself besides the lesbian part. I always enjoy a slice of life movie, and despite all the husband murdering and dead brothers, this is a pretty good example of a slice of life movie. I'd give it 4 stars if we're doing the letterbox review system. Entertaining and down to earth, but surprisingly violent and gay. Pretty interesting movie. So now I'm gonna move it along into the next review. Let's keep it going. Wait, before I do that, wait a minute. I did this the first time, so I'm gonna show you me putting the disc in. Sorry, old habits die hard. I'm always wanting to speed things along. Not that kind of movie. This is like 2 hours, 15 minutes. So long enough. Pretty good movie. Alright, today's playthrough is Papa's Mocharia Deluxe. This is the newest Papa Louie game to come out, and I want to review all of them on this for their 20th anniversary. Yes, Flipline started doing Papa Louie's back in 2006, and I've been doing them since 2012, so that's 14 years, and it makes me feel very old. Not the point. So, Papa's Mocharia Deluxe is a pretty fun game. I like it better than the to-go equivalent for the iPad because I have big fingers, and therefore I'm always screwing up orders by clicking on wrong things. So, that kind of sucks, but I'm very happy they decided to do a computer version. Today, I'm doing the New Year's portion of Mocharia Deluxe because it's my favorite holiday in this game. I'm going to try and get every Papa Louie game to the holiday that I like during this. Problem is, I had mine all backed up on an old hard drive, and it is gone now. It fell out in my backpack, and I've never found it since. So, we will see what happens. If push comes to shove, I'll just use my old gameplay footage that's already on my channel. So, we'll see about that. But yeah, this is a pretty fun game. I really like the mechanics of doing the coffee and the milk. I think that the fluidity of the design of the coffee is really nice. This one and Palateria are the best looking modern games, in my opinion. They have some really good game mechanics as well with the cannolis. I like doing those. I think my favorite Papa Louie game overall is either Cheeseria or Wingeria. But this one, I think, is definitely up there. My favorite sweet game would probably be Palateria, honestly. That one or Pancakes. But yeah, so, very enjoyable game. I played through all this earlier in the summer. And then I did 2 different holidays in succession so I could get to New Year's quick for this. So I am very happy with my performance in this game because I got everyone, all the stickers unlocked. I got everybody's outfits unlocked. So that was very nice. And yeah, Papa's Mocharia Deluxe, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. It's a fun game. You know, sometimes the customers don't come in quick enough. So once you send the order out, that's when they come in next. That's kind of boring, but overall, very enjoyable game to play. I have some real fun playing it. It's kind of soothing, you know, once you get into the rhythm, so it's a comfort game. That's what I can, like The Sims, it's a comfort game. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I'm gonna finish out this playthrough without me talking, and let's serve Patroina, the closer. So I realized after the first Lip-Balm review that only doing one was kind of boring. So I got a series here today. So these are Lipsessed from Purple Stars 02, another YouTuber. And this is the back to school collection I'll be putting on. And the first one here is PB&J Smash. And this one was pretty nice. It mostly tasted like peanut butter with a hint of fruit. It didn't smell too much like anything really, just vaguely peanut buttery. It was okay, so I'll give it a B. Next up is Peach Yogurt Delight. And while I liked the idea of it, it didn't really smell or taste like anything much, not even really fruity. Kind of more like the milk part of yogurt than the fruit part, so I gave this one a C, unfortunately. Next we have Honey Pretzel Twist, and this is definitely one of my favorites. It's not my favorite pretzel lip balm ever. That one is from Lipsmacker, and I'll review it eventually, but I always like the salty scents for these, and this one was no exception. I gave this one B+, because purely it's not as good as the Lipsmacker, so sorry. Next we have Apple Juice Splash, and I'm a big sucker for anything apple-centered or flavored, so I really enjoyed this one. It really felt like tasting on my lips, a Capri Sun 100% juice. Smelled really nice, really organic, apple juicy smelling, and not like a candle. So I really enjoyed that, and I gave this one the first A. We have Crispy Treat Crunch. This one really did smell like a Rice Krispie treat. It was very nice and vanilla-y smelling. Not really too much marshmallow, but it was nice. It was pleasant smelling. So I gave this one a B+. And finally we have the last scent of the bunch, and this one is Fruit Snack Attack. And it smells and tastes exactly like a fruit snack. And I found that very impressive because, you know, it's got that certain waxy texture that you can't really smell. But this one smells exactly like it. So I was very impressed by this one. I gave it an A because I love the way that fruit snacks taste. So this was a pretty good set overall. I know I gave a C to one of them, but I really enjoyed it. It's really nice for back to school, and I'd recommend it. Alrighty, now it's time for another doll review. This week, I have Moonspell Magic, Willow Thorne, ready to be opened. And, she looks pretty, doesn't she? So we're gonna rip this box out, and we'll see what she looks like on the inside. Let's get on that. The cardboard thing, or what's left of it. Here's the back where her character is described. Not exactly like old school Monster High, but it's whatever. Alright. Here's all the little stuff she comes with. She's got a plant in a jar, a soap, perhaps, a spell book of her magic. Here's the Mr. Kitty right there. There he is. A necklace, a hat, and a purse. And here is the actual doll. So, she's got, you know, very hippie-ish looking. I really love the long pants. I think more dolls should have pants and not the skirts. So I really like the pants on Willow. See if I can get her hat on Shuri, I think. There's like a little clip in the back of her head to get it on, but here it's just like a normal hat. That's pretty nice. It's pretty styling, I think. Let's get the necklace on her. Come on. And the bag. Mattel's hands are much bendier now than they used to be, I'll tell you that. Most of the time they used to be like solid, but now they just keep bending. So, come on. Get your fingers through the bag. I have to do it the hard way. Take hand off. Put bag on arm. Put hand back on. She's supposed to be, she has a hearing aid there, so that's cute. Not in the other years, I guess she's only half deaf. That's something. Okay. There we go. Here is Willow. She's really cute. I really like her pants. I really like her top as well. The poofy sleeves. She's a very nice... Oh, here's Mr. Kitty. So, very nice doll. I really like Willow. Now, if I were to give her a rating, it'd be a thumbs up. Alrighty. Doll review done. On to the next thing.
Smooth talking, so rocking. He's got everything that a girl's wanting. Guitar cutie, he plays it groovy, and I can't keep myself from doing something stupid.
So today for the food review, I thought I'd try out the new Pillsbury Grand's Poppin' Flavor Fruit Rolls Raspberry. I know the full name of it because I'm looking it up online. So this is a raspberry cinnamon roll basically, and I thought it was pretty good. I had mine with some fresh strawberries. Not because it just made a good picture, but because I need to eat some fruit. But it tasted really nice together. It's not too strange, even though it's supposed to be a cinnamon roll, but it's fruity. It mostly just tasted like, there's this blueberry biscuit thing that we make sometimes, me and my mom. It's kind of like that, but raspberry instead, and I'm thinking less sweet. They aren't really that sweet, which was surprising to me. It was mostly just fruity, which definitely makes me feel better about myself, although not great still. If I were to give this one a face rating, I would give it let's get the face ratings up. Jameer. I'll give it a Jameer. And now for the vintage food. This one isn't really that vintage. I did want to review it. This is one of the things that I ate when I was in the UK, specifically when I was in London. And it was like a seafood pasta thing. It had shrimp and squid and mussels in it. And it was really good. It was surprisingly good. I'd never tried squid or mussels before that, and they tasted pretty nice. Honestly, I can't say what they really tasted like, because there was a lot of things in it. A lot of shrimp, there's a lot of noodles, a lot of parsley, I'm guessing. I didn't really look at what all was in it. Also, it's been 2 months, but it was really good. This was the absolute fanciest place that I've ever been in my life, so I'd have to show it off pretty quick, I think. I don't go to many fancy places, as you can probably guess, but mussels are surprisingly good. If I were to give this one a face rating, I would give it a confident. Yes, a confident meal.
Bergman's Nature Valley. Lost Horse Creek, Bitterroot Range, Montana. Where's yours? 100% natural, whole grains, delicious. Nature Valley granola bars, the energy bar nature intended.
welcome to the album review. Today, I'll be reviewing Self-Portrait by Lalah Hathaway. Now, I've had this album for about 3 years. I decided to finally listen to it because I did like the artwork for it. So, let's get to the review, eh? It's kind of slow for my tastes. I like fast and heavy music the best, but it's still a pretty good album. This is an R&B album, so Hathaway obviously has a very nice voice, so even listening to the slower songs like Learning to Swim or On Your Own were fine to listen to. I really like the faster, funkier tracks like Let Go and 1 Mile, but the slower ones are still pretty decent. I also like Little Girl, despite it being slower paced than the other 2 songs. My only definite recommend is the first track, Let Go. It's very catchy and I caught myself singing it to myself a couple times throughout today. The rest of the songs are fine, but nothing besides the first track really stands out to me. It's definitely a fine album. I don't listen to a ton of R&B or adult contemporary, but Self-Portrait had a pretty chill vibe. It was nice to listen to on an early Monday morning. Unfortunately, I think this will be one of the ones that will go to the donate pile. I have nothing really against it. It's perfectly fine, but if I don't love it, I'm gonna give it to Goodwill. Also, the insert is really gross. I'm pretty sure someone came in it because it's weirdly white and crunchy. I don't really want to talk about that. So, sorry to Lalah Hathaway. I'm sorry someone came in one of your albums, and now I'm giving it back to Goodwill. You have a pretty voice, but, you know, it's too many years with this, so I think I'll have to part with it. That's why I did this one so early, by the way, because I did not really want it in my possession anymore without listening to it at least once. So, that's the album review, and now it's time for the video to finally end, unfortunately. So, sad, but I hope you enjoyed this episode of Shampoo. Thank you.